everybody. Welcome to the Ronline Report. Today's guest is a young man I had the pleasure of seeing for the first time in person at the Tampa Pro a few weeks ago. Did very, very well. 5th place, massive guy with great shape, tremendous potential. You're going to be hearing a lot more about this guy. So here he is all the way from Kuwait, joined by his wife, Riham. This is Hassan Mostafa. Welcome. How are you, sir?
Hi, Ron.
Hi.
We're very happy to be here.
Okay. So I want to learn more about Hassan Mostafa because I don't know much about him. So Cairo, Egypt, 27 years ago you were born. What kind of things did you do as a kid? I know you were not into sports, but what kind of things were you interested in before you found bodybuilding and weights?
شو كنت تحب تعمل قبل ما تتعرف على الحديد لما سنة؟ شو كنت تعمل وانت صغير؟
لا والدي طول عمره كان بيعلمنا في السويد والتمرين. انا والدي كان بيلعب كده فهو من صغره بيعلمنا على التمارين والحديد كان.
That's the first sport he got into. Just his dad was really into weightlifting, so that's the first thing he got introduced to, and yeah, he loved it since.
Okay. So did his dad get him started with weight training?
أبوك هو اللي بدأ معك في
هو اللي كان بيلعب هو اللي شجعني ان انا العب وهو اللي حفزني.
Yeah, he's the one that motivated him to keep going with it, and he's the one that introduced him to the sport.
Okay. Was Hassan most motivated by any famous bodybuilders when he was a teenager just starting out?
وانت صغير كنت بتحفز ببادي بيلدر كبير معين؟
لا.
في حد معين كنت تطلع له أو؟
لا، هو كان بالنسبة لي كان بالنسبة لنا عشان كان نت لسه مش كتير وبتاع، كان بالنسبة لنا الشحات مبروك هو القدوة الكبيرة بتاعتنا طبعا.
Back in the day where in Egypt the internet was not very as popular as it is now. So Shahat Mabruk, he's an Egyptian bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And he was a big fan of him at the time.
Yeah, because I believe El Shahat Mabruk, he won the IFBB World Championships, I think 7 times over the course of 20 years, something like that.
Yeah, he won a lot of world championships. So that was a big idol.
Did Hassan start training with the goal of becoming a bodybuilder, of being a champion one day?
لما انت كنت اتمرنت عشان تصير بطل ولا عشان بس تحب التمرين؟
الأول أنا خدت اللعبة كهواية، بس اللي حفزني إن أنا ألعب بطولات والكلام ده إن واحد من أصدقائي كان والده واخد بطولة محافظة، بطولة صغيرة كده، فكان الولد فخور كتير بباباه، فقال كل شوية يقول لك أنا بابايا بطل محافظة، فأنا قلت لأ لازم أنا آخد بطولة محافظة أنا كمان عشان يبقى إيه عيالي كبار بيا كده وبتاع. بعد كده الموضوع جه واحدة كبر.
When he first started, it was just more out of a hobby, just because he liked training. But then one of his friends once he told him a story about how his dad won a championship, like a local championship, and he was so proud of his dad. So then it motivated him. He's like, I want to be a champ too. You know what I mean? It got him into it. So when he heard that story, that's when he put it in his mind to win shows. Okay.
So where did he get his information from as far as how to train correctly and how to eat like a bodybuilder? Because he was only 17 years old.
من وين أخذت المعلومات إنك كنت تتعلم تتمرن وأنت 17 سنة؟ كان الموضوع لسه بدري.
كنت بروح مع مدرب.
Sorry, let's just turn off the phone.
That's okay.
Yeah, we don't want that.
كنت بروح لمدربين اقعد معاهم في الجيم اتعلم منهم. كنت بروح مثلا بسيب بيتي وسيب اهلي وعسكر مع مدربين في المنطقه. مثلا كان مثلا يبقى كابتن زي كابتن عادل بدوي، كان عندنا مثلا باين عندنا مثلا مسافه طويله، فكنت بروح مثلا اخد شقه واحد اقعد معاه فتره اتعلم منه واجهز تحت ايده بطولات.
He actually lived in a small town, so for him to be around people that knew about fitness, he had to actually go to the gym and stay there for a few months. So he traveled. Is that something?
لا بقعد مثلا كنت بروح اجهز البطوله قبل شهرين، بقعد معاه في الجيم معسكر معاه.
So let's say he has a show in 2 months, he'll go to the gym and stay there for a couple months and kind of train with his trainer.
في كابتن حمدي وفي كابتن عبد
he has a lot of local trainers that took care of him, Hamdi and other Egyptian names. But yeah, he would stay with them for a couple months. They'd help him as much as he could,
وقف معاه طبعا بطولة العالم.
and that's when he got into the World Championships. He got it. He won a championship as a junior. Yeah, when he was 23, I believe. Yeah, that was his first show to win.
Oh wow. So yeah, I'll get to the contest history later, but I want to back up to when he was a teenager and he was just starting out bodybuilding the first couple of years. At what point did Hassan realize that he had a special gift that he was developing in a way that most of the other people lifting weights around him weren't? You know, when did he know that he could do something higher level than most guys could?
وانت بديت اللعبة كيف عرفت ان انت يعني عندك حاجة مختلفة او تستاهل انك تكمل يعني في اللعبة هذه وتصير توصل بطل؟ كيف عرفت ان انت ممكن توصل لحاجة كبيرة بعدين؟ او وقتش عرفت يعني؟
كل المدربين اللي كانوا مثلا بجهز معاهم كانوا بيقول لك انت جيناتك مختلفة، انت في يوم من الايام هتبقى حاجة، فكان كلامهم ليه هو اللي كان بيحفزني ان انا ابقى حاجة.
He said that any trainer that took him on or coach, they'd always told him that his genetics were very special and different, and that he'll reach something big one day. So that motivated him to keep going at it because he heard it from different people, and that was always his motivation.
Okay. How many kilograms did he weigh at age 17 when he started training?
دي كان وزنك من 17 سنة أو التمرين يعني. Before he started training or while he started?
Before he started.
لما تبدأ مثلا بطولات دي كم وزنك؟
حدود
It's a long time ago.
How much?
85 90.
About 85 to 90 kilos.
Oh, so he wasn't small.
He was a big guy before, yeah.
Yeah, he was never really skinny, undersized person. Okay.
لا طول عمري.
He was always in a larger guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw him when he was 16, and he looked like he was already working out, even though he hadn't hit the gym yet. So his genetically, I guess, it shows on him.
أول بطولة ناشئين جايزين لك كنت 95 كيلو. يعني أول كان 18 سنة 19 سنة.
When he was 18, that was his first show to ever compete. He was 95 kilos on stage.
Wow. Did he win?
فزت أول بطولة 18. Yes, but it was a local show. Like he had to. It was just a national or I don't know, like a local show. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, a local show. So I saw the other interview that Dave did shortly after Tampa. I think you guys were still in Tampa when you did that interview. It looked like.
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah, but my question is, it sounded like Hassan's father. Did he buy him a gym to run? He had his own gym in Cairo or in Egypt.
الجيم تبعك انه ابوك يعني جاب لك جيم هناك
اشتغل عليه وفي نفس الوقت اجهز البطولات.
Yeah, his dad he got him he saved some money for him to open a small gym in his town, and that's where he was training and working for a little bit. Wow. But that was just before he came to Kuwait, so it didn't last too long.
Yeah, so like a year or two. He had that place for maybe how long? You think a year or 2 years?
فتحته 3 سنين 4 سنين.
Oh, 4 years. My bad.
Oh wow. Okay.
4 years. 4 سنين. 4 years.
And it was just called Hassan's Gym, right?
اسمه Hassan's Gym.
أيوة.
Good. Okay. So when did you know that you had to leave Egypt to advance your career? How did you end up getting to Kuwait?
وتعرف ان انت لازم تمشي من مصر عشان يعني تكبر مشوارك في اللعبه وتحب يعني عرفت ان تحب تروح الكويت.
بعد بطولة العالم ما خدت أول بطولة عالم.
قد كان عمرك؟
كان 22.
When he was 22, he won the world championship, the junior championships, and that's I think when Gold's Gym contacted him to come to Kuwait. So they saw him compete and they wanted him to come work for them there.
Oh, okay.
So he's been with them since then. Oh,
so he went to Gold's Gym Kuwait first, because most guys go to this Oxygen Gym, but he's been at Gold.
No, he's still in Gold's.
Right.
لا شغال في مدرب في جولد.
So he's a trainer. He's a personal trainer in Gold. So he works in Gold, but then he was in Oxygen for a while. working with his trainer for shows. So that's aside from work.
Okay.
بروح بس أي
But Gold, so it sounds like Gold's Gym Kuwait has really been his home for the almost the entire time he's been in Kuwait.
إنه جولد جيم هي المكان تبع بطولات الكويت. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just down the street. We've been living here.
And how long have you been in Kuwait?
كم سنة لك في الكويت؟
3 سنين أو 3 ونص.
لا من قبل 15 4 سنين 4 years
4 years. Okay. Wow.
Time is flying by. 4 years.
But you've been there too, Wahim, right?
The past 2 years. We just got when we got married I moved here.
Okay.
So
Because you've been with him since you guys were 16?
No. I was in Canada most of my life, but when we got married I came.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to get the timeline right. Okay. I'm just curious because Big Rami is from Egypt and he's in Kuwait. Are you guys is Hassan friends with Big Rami? Do they know each other very well?
بيقول لي إنه بيج رامي هو من مصر وعايش في الكويت. أنت أصدقاء مع بيج رامي؟
أصدقاء.
Yeah. They keep in touch.
Okay, because he's off. Do you even know what country he's in now?
أي بلد هو عارف؟
لا هو دلوقتي حاليا في الكويت بس في الوقت الحالي هو في أمريكا.
He's in Kuwait right now, but like this moment he's in the States for the Olympia. But he's living in Kuwait right now.
Okay. So what show did you turn professional at?
أي بطولة لعب صرت فيها محترف؟
اللي أنا مستر أولمبيا
the Kuwait there was an amateur Olympia Mr. Olympia in Kuwait.
Yeah.
In April about a year ago.
Oh, so just last year.
Yeah.
Okay, because then you did your first pro show like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, because Indy Pro was very, very shortly after that, right?
Wait. السنة اللي فاتت انت صرت محترف ولا قبليها؟ Wait, that makes no sense. No, it was a year later. So okay. Maybe I just understood something. Oh no, we did the Indiana this year, not last year. So last year. Yeah. So April of 2018, he got his pro card, and then in March of 2019, a few months like this year, he did Indiana.
Okay, I wrote the wrong year down. That was my mistake. So, what improvements did you make between amateur Olympia and your pro debut?
ايش التغييرات اللي عملتها بين الاماتشر والبرو ديبيو الامريكي؟ شو الاختلاف اللي صار يعني؟
طبعا اختلاف في العضلات. اكتسبت طبعا كتلة عضلية جديدة. طبعا كانت تحت توجيه الكابتن بتاع أحمد المكي. اختلاف كتير في النشافة والكثافة العضلية.
He has gained a lot of muscle, I guess more lines and more maturity in his muscles by then. He looked more dense on stage, and it was all under his coach at the time, Ahmed Nabi from Oxygen. So he was with them at the time, yeah.
Okay. How many kilograms did you weigh, this year at the pro shows roughly?
In Tampa or in same thing, I guess.
Let's say Tampa, sure.
Tampa, I think that was not on stage day.
On stage, how many kilos? Yeah.
109.
Wow. Okay. I'm curious. You don't have any weak body parts. Everything is very proportionate. You got great mass everywhere. Did all your body parts respond equally well, or were some of them faster to grow and others slower to grow?
ما عندناش نقط ضعف في جسمك في سنتر حلوة بين كل شيء. ففي مثلا قطع في جسمك أسهل يعني تكبر أو تنمو أو أصعب يعني. في شيء مثلا تعبت فيه في جسمك؟
هي كانت رجلي في الأول بس عرفت أعدلها بالتمرين والكارديو.
He's saying his legs was a big weak point at one point.
Really?
But now, yeah, he's very shocked that now the legs.
مثلا هم فيديوهات اللي فيهم الصورة دي ما كانتش بتنشف. ما كانش فيها دي.
He wouldn't look dry on his legs. Like it would be big, it's muscular, but there isn't a lot of lines. And he just, no matter what he did, it wouldn't get the definition he's wanting. Like his upper body would look better than his legs.
Yeah.
شو اختلف؟ شو اختلف؟ صار رجلك يعني.
بقت تعجبني، بقت التفاصيل بتاعها تعجبني.
He's like now I'm happy with the way it looks. Like now the details, the lines are much better. And I think that's more muscle maturity. With time, it shows more. So.
Right, and obviously, you know, you're working with Chris Lucido, and Chris is very, very knowledgeable, very expert with conditioning. You know, obviously, he's got a great track record.
لا أنا طول عمري مثلا ما تطلعش 100%، أول مرة تطلع الستيج المرة دي 100% يعني جاهز.
He's saying that he's always struggled with that, and in Tampa, he's very happy with how well it looked. So, yeah, for sure, we're definitely going to try.
So yeah, I mean, you did very well at your pro debut at the Indy Pro, because you took second behind two guys who've been doing this very long time, Steve Kuklo, Akeem Williams. I think I can't believe more people weren't talking about him after that. But what was it like taking third place at your first pro show to two guys who are very, very good and have been doing this a long time, much longer than you?
بيقول إنه أنت كيف يعني إنه أنت في إنديانا كان كتير يعني واو إن أنت أخذت الثاني بعد مثلا الناس يعني بتلعب بطولات من زمان ستيف كوكلو ويليامز. حتى هو مستغرب كيف الناس اللي بتعمل كتير على الموضوع يعني في أوقات البطولة، إنه أنت يعني إنجاز كبير بالنسبة لك. شو كان شعورك؟
طبعا أنا كان وقف في وسطهم أصلا كان فخر لي كتير، كنت مبسوط كتير إن أقف في وسطهم أصلا.
He was very proud. He even got to share the stage with them. It was very interesting to see the comparisons on stage. It's one thing to always, you know, see your body, like see the body by itself, but it's another one compared with other people, you know. So it was very happy.
أنا ستيف طول عمري بتفرج عليه بس على اليوتيوب، عمري ما قابلته.
Yeah, that's Steve Cook. He's always watched him on YouTube and stuff.
على الستيج طبعا ده شيء.
And then him being, you know, on stage with him was a very big deal for him.
So what about Tampa? Because that was an even better lineup. We had Dexter Jackson, Mr. Olympia. You know, Dexter's the greatest champion as far as he's won the most contests. He's won 5 Arnold Classic titles. He was Mr. Olympia. So what was it like being in the first call out with Dexter Jackson in Tampa?
كيف يعني إحساسك إنك تكون مع الفيرست كول أوت مع دكستر جاكسون؟ يعني أكبر واحد في البطولات ويعني شخص عظيم، فأنت تكون يعني واقف مع أبطال كتير.
هم هنا كده حد مكان بيقول مثلا أنت بتلعب بطولة قوية بتلعب مع ديكستر، قلت لهم يا جدعان أنا وقيفه كان مع ديكستر بس على الستيج واحد، ده لوحده ليه تاريخ أو شرف ليا إن أنا أقف مع ستيج واحد.
He said here when he was telling people he's going to do the Tampa Pro, and then they would always criticize like, oh, you're going to go stand up against Dexter Jackson, like, you know, there's, you know, a big difference there. But he himself said it's just an honor to be sharing the stage. He didn't have, you know, the expectations of winning over him, but he just was honored that, you know, he shared the stage with him.
Yeah, he's a legend. He's a living legend. So you know, people are going to be curious about your training and your nutrition. We're not going to go into every little detail, but how would you describe your training style? Is it like a lot of heavy free weight compound movements? Do you use a lot of machines too? How would you describe the way you train?
كيف طريقة تمرينك؟ يعني تستخدم مثلا ماشينز كبيرة، يعني عدد كتيرة، كيف يعني تتمرن؟ شو النظام تبعك؟
بقسم تمارين 7 أسابيع. مثلا في الوقت الحالي مثلا باخد مثلا عضلة واحدة، بعد كده باخد عضلة كبيرة وعضلة صغيرة.
كل قد ايش؟ كل أسبوع بتغير؟
كل أسبوعين. الأسبوع الضخامة أسبوعين، وبعد كده أسبوع عضلة كبيرة وعضلة صغيرة، وأسبوع الرابع ممكن أعمل لو جسمي محتاج اللي هو لقيته معبي كتير ومش جاهز باخد جسمي على 3 أيام. تبع شكل جسمي ببدأ أحط التمرين.
So he sees how his body's looking. Right now he's in the off season, so it's all about building muscle and strength. So he'll do 2 weeks of one body part, but he'll go very heavy weights and low reps. And then the 3rd week, شو بتعمل 3 week؟ 3 أسبوع؟
لا بصي، هو مثلا هم محطوطهم انا اصلا بعد 4 أسابيع بس تبع رد فعل جسمي. لو جسمي تعبان ومره كتير ما بعملش اللي هو جسمي على 3 أيام. لو لقيت العضلات معبيه وفيها فات بعمل جسمي على 3 أيام.
شو بتعمل جسمك هتحكي؟
صدر وكتف امامي وباي وظهر وكتف خلفي وتراي.
لحظة هلا he's talking so fast I can't translate. I'm like, hold on.
Okay.
He's telling me his split, so let me focus on it.
الجسم ده الصدر والكتف الامامي والباي فيه.
So chest, front, shoulders, and
باي.
and biceps one day, okay?
ظهر وكتف خلفي وتراي فيهم.
So triceps, back, and back delts or shoulders another day, and then رجلين ثالثة, and then legs third day, and then he'll cycle with that. So he'll do a split of
just 3 different training days.
and 3 أيام مختلفين. Yeah, that's what he mostly relies on, so that he trains it more often.
Okay, and then you know rest.
His body, he'll rest. Like it just goes with how he feels. So sometimes he'll rest more. Sometimes he'll do one body part only. Sometimes he'll do the split. It varies, but he has to do them all so that he tries everything.
Okay, and as far as nutrition, are you into high carbs, low carbs?
الأكل شو بتحب الكارب العالي ولا الواطي ولا إيش؟
طبعا ما حدش بيكره الكارب العالي.
No one has high carbs. They're his best friends.
He loves carbs. What are his favorite foods when he's dieting, and what are his favorite foods in the off season?
Oh, that's a lot. Wait, let him say it. Off season, وش الأكل اللي بتحب تفضل؟ ولا أكل كثير فإحنا نسمع.
الأكل
يعني شو أنواع الأكل اللي بتحبها في الأوف سيزون؟
لا انا مش تبع الجدول بتاعي، يعني مثلا الجدول المدرب بتقول لي ماشي على تبعه، بس في مثلا وجبات معينه بحبها.
So he said he follows the plan that his coach sends him, which he does. But are you asking what his cheat meals?
Oh no, I'm saying like what kind of, is there any, what kind of foods? Is it just the typical bodybuilder chicken, rice, potatoes?
Off season.
انا عامه بحب الاكل كله، فاللي ودي ياكل ستيك.
Yeah, his plan consists of just egg whites with whole eggs, oatmeal, an apple, sometimes toast with jam if he's on high carb. Like he'll do cycling, sometimes high carb and lower carb, even on the off season. Chicken, fish, tilapia, and beef or steak. So pretty generic stuff, rice and potatoes.
What's the one food that he can't wait to eat after a contest? What's the one treat, or
شو الأكل اللي يعني أنا بستناها أكلها بعد البطولة؟
Pizza? That's a good answer.
It has to be stuffed crust.
Stuffed crust pizza. Okay.
بس لو في تصوير في حاجه لازم، الحاجه اللي بتقدر تصبرني واللي انا مثلا بحبها مثلا في لما اكون ماتش قريب ولا بتاع السوشي.
He's saying, but if he has like a photo shoot or something coming up, like he has to do like a clean sheet, so sushi is what he goes for. But generally, it's pizza.
It's funny. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Every bodybuilder loves pizza and sushi.
Yeah. They're pretty yummy.
They're delicious. Are there any, you've been to the US a couple times. Are there any chain restaurants you like? Like a lot of guys like Cheesecake Factory.
في شيء بتحبه في أمريكا مثلا كذا مرة يعني مختلف مثلا شيء معين مطاعم؟ We like Cheesecake Factory, but we have it here in Kuwait, so we go to it here on our cheat days. Cheesecake Factory يعني بس أنا بروح هنا. Yeah. He said we have it here, so it's fine. But
okay, yeah, I think you have all the same every guy I've talked to from America, like Brandon Curry, says they have everything over there that we have, the same restaurants.
Yeah. Kuwait, honestly, by far best in food. Yeah. They have everything American and they have everything culture.
Right on. So talk about improvements that you want to make. I mean, do you think? I think you have all the size you need. Do you think you need any more mass?
حابب مثلا تكبر في ضخامة أكتر يعني شو ناوي عليه؟ يعني هو شايف إنه أنت يعني ضخم بما فيه الكفاية.
لا مش هزيد يعني، أنا بحاول إن أطلع مثلا يعني لو أكبر سنة بسيطة بس أطلع بديفينيشن ممتاز.
He said that he's not really aiming to gain that much size, maybe a little bit, but as long as the condition is on point. His goal is condition, not size.
Okay. Are there any particular body parts you're trying to improve, or parts of body parts?
حابب تحسنه في جسمك؟
الجزء العلوي بس عندي شوية أشتغل عليه، أعدله مع الرجل. شوية عشان يبقى متمسك مع رجله.
Upper body. He wants to make it thicker and a little bigger so that it's more symmetrical with the legs.
Yeah. You know, I saw in the other interview he trains legs twice a week. You know, a quad day and a ham day, right? Is that right?
Yes. And yeah.
I mean, would you ever consider, you know, training legs just like twice a month, skipping some leg days? Because your legs are enormous. Would you know? Because people like Branch Warren, they took time off leg training, and Flex Lewis did it early in his career too, to let the upper body fill out. Would you consider doing something like that?
يقول في ناس مثلا كبار زي برانش موران وفلكس مثلا اخذوا وقت يعني اجازه من تمرين الرجلين مثلا مرتين في الشهر مثلا عشان تخلي جسمك من فوق يتعدل على الجسم من تحت يصير فيه مثلا بتفكر بشيء زي هيك ولا انت مثلا تستمر بتمرين الرجل دايما؟
لا انا في الوقت الحالي بحاول اعدي من فوق، لو ما جابش مع زميلي ماشي احاول ان انا اريحها بالتمرين، اخليها مثلا اعدل اخلي الجسم يسبق في التمرين.
He's saying that his goal right now is to gain the muscle mass in the upper body to make it balance with the lower. But if he can't do that or his genetics are not allowing him, then he'll do what you're saying. So he'll see that first.
الفترة اللي فاتت كانت مشكلة في الشفش والخطوط بتاعتها، اشتغلت عليها. الحمد لله تعدلت، فأنا هحاول أشتغل على فوق، أغير برنامج تمرين، أغير أشتغل فوق، أشوف أجيب معاه نتيجة ولا لا.
He's saying in the past, he as we said earlier, his legs didn't show the lines that are necessary, so he really worked on that, Stairmaster, different techniques and training, so it really helped. So he feels that he can do the same with his upper body if he really, that's his focus. So right now, that's what he's focusing on this offseason.
Right on. Yeah, because I'm guessing his legs grew faster, at least a little bit, than his upper body in the early years. Is that right?
إن رجلك مثلا زادت أو تقدمت بسرعة أكتر من جسمك من فوق في مثلا أول سنين من حياتك.
هي طول عمرها رجل كبيرة، بس المشكلة فيها الوحيدة كانت التفاصيل، الديفينيشن والتفاصيل.
He said he's always had like larger legs. He's always had like a big, I guess, big legs. So yeah, I mean, it was just more of like, let's define it. But in terms of size, it was always bigger, I guess, than his upper body.
Yeah, but I mean, because he's been compared to Paul Quadzilla DeMeo, a guy from Boston, Massachusetts that I knew back in the old days. Quadzilla.
Yeah,
and
he loved the comparison because we saw pictures of him and he's amazing. It's too bad he didn't run so long, you know.
Yeah, but I met Paul had a brother. Paul had a brother that competed too. Not many people know this. His brother had. I said Paul DeMeo had a brother named Donnie who also competed, didn't go pro, but his brother also had these massive legs, just like not as big as Paul's, but they were big.
So I guess it's genetics then.
I mean, I don't want to make it sound to people like your upper body's not huge. You're huge. You're a giant guy. I don't look at you and think his legs are way bigger than the upper body. You're massive everywhere. So please let him know that.
يقول انه انت يعني مش عشان بركز على رجليك انه انت يعني شايف انه فوق مش ضخم من كل مكان بس يعني هو بس
So
yeah, he knows. It's fine.
So after Tampa, did you guys talk to judges, get any feedback about what they'd like to see different next time that Hassan competes?
بعد تامبا كلمنا مثلا حكام نشوف مثلا شو حابين يعني يشوفوا في المرة الجاية لما تلعب بطولات. كلمناه في انديانا.
كلمناه في انديانا، هو صاحب البطولة بتاعت انديانا هو اللي بعت لنا ايميل وقال لنا مثلا لو حابين يعرفوا مثلا سبب اخطائكم وبتاع، احنا عملنا.
We had done that in Indy Pro. The promoter of Indy, he was so awesome. He actually gave us the contact email of the judges, and we sent them an email, and they gave him some feedback, mainly his midsection and presence on stage. So if you notice, compared to from Indy until now, a huge difference in his midsection. I believe so, at least.
How did he do that?
كيف يعني انت بقول مثلا في اندي انا اقول لك على مثلا وصلك وعرضك على الستيج، فانت اشتغلت مثلا على وسطك كتير وفرق فعلا.
فرق كتير.
فبيسأل كيف انت عملت؟
تمرين البطن والفاكيوم واشتركت ان انا مثلا كنت الاول بس بعمل العرض بالميوزك مع نفسي. لا شفت حد متخصص ان هو يعمل العرض وبقيت انفذه.
He's saying that he started taking like midsection training like more seriously, a lot of vacuum training in the morning, so breathing and all that, and it actually like it really works. Like yeah, it works. So he never used to do that. He didn't even really know how to do that. So we looked it up, and he did that, and it really helped. Like even the side obliques, they're more defined now, and it's mainly training because the diet didn't really change much. It's just it's the focus on the vacuum and other like midsection training. Also for the posing, like I know everyone criticizes his stage presence, but I mean it's gonna improve. But even for that, like we contacted someone to choreograph the song and everything. So like it's improving show after show. So we're trying to kind of hit that. Yeah.
Because he's just getting started. He's only done 2 pro shows.
نبدا يعني بقول انا عارفه مثلا العرض تبعك على الستيشن كنت ناس تنتقد وكذا، فاحنا كلمنا حد يعني يعدل هو لسه بتبدا يعني تو بروشنز.
بس ماشي لما النفق بيشتغل على اخطاء وبعدين بيفضل قدام بيعدل.
He's happy. He's happy. He wants to target all the weaknesses now, so that you know in a couple of years he's much better. You know.
Yeah. Oh, this is just the beginning. We're barely seeing the surface, just scratch right now. That's it. But the posing, posing is something a lot of guys don't work on. How are you working on your posing? Do you have a coach, or are you just trying to do it on your own?
Posing كثير ناس مثلا ما بتشتغلوش عليه، انت كيف تعمل بتشتغل posing؟ يعني شو بتعمل عشان تحسن من البوزنج؟
العرض اللي اعرض عليه مثلا في دلوقتي ممكن مثلا مرتين في الاسبوع، 3 مرات في الاسبوع بعد التمرين. بعد التمرين مثلا الصدر بعرض وبشوف نفسي بعمل ثبات عليه. ويوم البطولة مثلا كل يوم بعمل عرض.
He's saying it's how often you do it. So right now, because it's in the off season, so every like twice a week he'll start posing so that he can control his breathing more. So when he's on stage, he's not out of breath or he's unable, he's able to hold the poses longer. So he's doing that now, but when it's closer to the show, he does it on a daily basis. Even the song and the performance, he'll do it almost every day, like a month or 2 before the show, so that at least his body is used to the movements.
Cool. Here's a weird question. Are there any pros right now that you really would love the chance to compete against that you haven't been able to compete against yet?
في محترفين في الوقت الحالي بتتمنى تتنافس ضدهم لسه ما تنافسش معاهم؟
لا ما فيش حد. مفيش تنافس. انا بتنافس مع حالي. انا عاوز اطلع نفسي افضل من السنه اللي فاتت وخلاص. بس ما فيش حد مثلا ان انا عايز اكون احسن منه او عاوز ان انا اتنافس منه او انا عاوز ان انا اطور من نفسي بالمستوى اللي يكون بقى.
He's like no one specific he wants to go on stage against. He wants to just be better than he was the last show, and it's just really him versus him. Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's made tremendous progress, the past few years. I've seen some pictures from his early shows. Can I ask, how many kilos at your first contest back in, how long ago was that? I don't know.
كم كيلو his first contest ever?
First contest ever, yeah.
That's like 18, so that's like 9 years ago. أول بطولة من 15 سنة قد إيه كان وزنك؟
95.
95.
Okay.
So he started off with 95 kilos.
So much bigger now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the amateur is it junior championships? The junior world championships, he was 105.
Okay. Wow. Do you know what
he was 105 there, he's 109 and 109. So he's not much different, but his body looks different, Yeah. So it's not really about the weight. Like it's just he looks completely different, even though it's not much of a difference.
يعني أنا بطولة إنديانا كنت 112 بس أنا بطولة تامبا أنا أكبر وأنشط.
So in Indiana he was 112, but in Tampa he was 109. Even though in Tampa he was bigger and drier. So even though he, less weight, but muscles look better.
It looked much bigger. Yeah, he looked great in Tampa. I mean, everybody was talking about him. So the next step, you guys are hoping to get an invite to the Arnold Classic, right?
حابب تروح الأرنولد الخطوة الجديدة؟
نفسي.
Yeah, that's his very big
Yeah.
motivation. He wants to do it. Yeah.
I mean,
So I think you can't apply for it until after the Olympia.
Right.
So we're gonna try to get an invite for that. After Olympia.
well, they send out, the Arnold Committee sends out like a survey to a lot of people in the industry about, these are all the people that applied, and they ask your opinion on each of them. So I think a lot of people in the industry were very, very impressed with Hassan this year at those two shows. So I think there's a very, very strong chance you're going to get into the Arnold. You'll be there.
So بيقول انه يعني في الارنولد بيشوف مثلا لسه كل اللي قدموا بيعطوهم على ناس مثلا في المجال هذا يسالوا مثلا حابب يكون في الارنولد. فهو برايه انه كثير ناس حابه تشوف يعني تشوف التلعب.
انا بتمنى ان الدعوه تجيلي.
He's like, I really hope so. I just want that invite. It's a really prestigious show, and for him to do it, and you know, if he places really good in that, it's gonna mean a lot. So
yeah. Here's a question I was going to ask before. Like I said, you know, we had, especially Egypt and a few other countries in the Middle East, had a long tradition of amateur champions who would remain amateurs for many, many years, and they did very, very well. Like El Shahad Mabrouk was one of the best in the world for many, many years. But it's only in the past 5 to 8 years we've started to see the talent from Middle East go into the pro ranks and start doing well. Why do you think now the people from that part of the world are finally deciding not to be amateurs anymore, to finally get into the pro ranks, and now they're all doing very well? But why now?
بيقولوا انه في يعني وقت طويل مثلا بلدان زي مصر كان في عندها ابطال كتيره بس ما كانش تحترف زي شحات مبروك يعني بطل كتير كبير بس هو ما احترفش؟ لا ما احترفش. فاشمعنى الايام هذه بنشوف نسمع كتير ناس طالعه من مصر تحترف وبتعمل حاجات كتير كويسه؟ اشمعنى الايام هذه يعني الموضوع صار مهم او معقول اكتر عن زمان؟
من وجهة نظري أنا الشخصية، كان وجهة نظري الشخصية ما أعرفش بقى ماشي. كان عالم الاحتراف بالنسبة لناس كتير شيء خيالي. ما كان كله بيخاف يخطي الخطوة دي. بس طبعا بعد ظهور كذا بطل عربي وبيج رامي والكلام ده كله، فادانا حافز اللي احنا ممكن نوصل.
He's saying that in his personal opinion, he doesn't know if that's the case or not, but becoming a pro was a really like out of reach type thing. Like it almost seemed impossible to many people, but I guess the more people that do it, people like Big Rami and such, the more success they've reached, the more it became like, oh yeah, I could do that too. And then, you know, slowly everybody's following each other's footsteps. So
yeah, because you know, Rami's done so well, and now, you know, I think Hassan's going to be up there too. I think he's going to be one of the very top guys in the sport in the next couple of years. Inshallah.
So.
Yeah. Inshallah. Yeah. I used to talk to Oscar a lot over at Oxygen Gym.
Oh, yes.
He said that all. That's how I learned that phrase. Right. So, guys, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. I want to let everyone know you have an Instagram to follow. It's IFBB Pro _ Hassan _ Mostafa. So go on Instagram, give them a follow. And you guys are going into the off season now, so we're going to see some more progress. Are you excited about this off season? You know, you did so well. Are you very excited about this off season coming up?
متحمس على الأوف سيزون اللي جاي هذا ولا؟
متحمس كتير. مستني كريس لسه يحط الخط.
He's very excited. He's waiting on Chris to do his magic. So it's a new stage for him for sure.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. It was a great first year as a pro, and like I said, it's just the beginning. You're going to be so good. It's, you know, we're seeing the big chapter 1. There's a lot more chapters coming after this. So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Hassan, for taking the time. Thank you, Wiham, for taking the time and for the translating services. Very much appreciated. I wish you the best of luck in the off season. I hope to see you on stage at the Arnold Classic next March in Ohio. Yeah.
We hope to see you there too. Thank you so much, Ron, for having us.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And everybody, thanks for watching the Ronline Report. This has been Hassan Mostafa. Thanks for watching.